I thought I'd be. Good to go. All right, seeing as that's 10:03, we'll call this meeting to order. All three districts are represented. First item is the approval of minutes.
I'll move that we approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion clearly passes. Departmental items, discussion and possible action regarding an update from staff on capital projects specific to District TIF District Number 2. Stacy, anything new?
Yeah, we basically have the one project left, which is our front entrance project we've been working on. And of course, we need to move those books somewhere prior to that project being able to be kicked off. We've submitted several different ideas to you guys, and we're working through those right now with different layouts and different costs. I don't have a lot to present to you today, but I would like to show you one drawing. Michaela, do you have that where you put it on the screen? Just let it sit there. This is the current, can you stop it? This is the area we're trying to recover. I don't have a pointer, so I'm going to show you. Which one's the easiest for you guys to look at?
Go ahead, keep going. We can all turn that way.
Trying to recover this area right here. So they're able to retain this. These books are being concerned about the weight of them. So we have that load a level off of those. So maybe moving on to the west, we still don't have enough room for everything. So across the hall, we're able to position these private spacing and weight and so forth. And we still got a whole bunch of file cabinets we don't have out of there yet. So it looks like we might even have to keep it in this area and start getting into the restaurant scene. So this has been talked about a lot. This option, as you get into the details, you get into the weighting and how you have to spread things out. It's going to take pretty much all of that area. Which downside to that is there's operations on two sides. May have to be. That's the con of that option. The pro of it is most of that's not being used right now. We would have to relocate some of the markets. Some more dominoes have to fall. So it's not the perfect scenario, but it is a scenario we're working at. I don't have the cost on this yet, but it will be a cost associated. If you're aware, I'm working on the layout at the ICB, which you've seen. We're looking at maybe buying an off-site building, and I think you've all seen that. So running all thread and parallel tracks, and we'll just keep reporting back to you. More and more information. So nothing's really emerging yet. Emerging as the
front runner. So we discussed previously about going ahead and creating a door/wall area right there to the, which would be the east side of the, there you go, right there. Yeah. And knocking all those walls out and leaving that bathroom there. Now, subsequently, I think you could probably do the same thing on the second, third, fourth floor, which would, on 3 and 4, resolve some issues that they have with spacing. But it would also create employee restrooms, which wouldn't be a bad thing, especially with the pandemics and such. I might provide a little bit more safety and security for the employees. And probably do the same. It's pretty much that way currently on 5. I mean, they don't allow anybody down that hallway. Oddly enough, they have a sign that works. No other sign in this building works, but the one sign on the 5th floor seems to work. To where people don't go down there. So I think that concept on 5 of just keeping people from the west end of the building and seeing what we can do to blow out some walls if they're not structural to create more space. And as long as we have egress meeting the fire code to get to the fire exit, I think we'd be good, and we'd also be gaining some space. Certainly on 3 and 4. Yeah, that would help a lot too. Ah, okay. Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, first, third, fourth. Yes.
Keep in mind that creates an asbestos kind of thing again.
I hate that word. Okay.
It's not just as simple as erasing walls.
Right.
So Stacy, it looks like in this plan, you have found a spot for all of the books, and then you said that you got those file cabinets that are left there. Are those heavy, weight-bearing file cabinets? Okay.
This is probably the least favorable that I've seen out of any of the options presented so far. To me, I mean, it seems to me like we're taking what we have spaced out for structural reason and kind of cramming it all in one spot. I'm sure that you took into account spacing, etc. Is there really? Wow, that's frightening.
And we need that loaded. Takes up more space than we did in North Carolina.
Yep.
Just keep you up to speed because the decision's gonna have to be made at some point in the Sunday. Not really ready to make recommendation today.
Okay.
What you guys keep me thinking about the three options. I've got them all in my office, so if you want to come see them or get a copy of them.
Yeah, it's for a future one, we might want to present all 3 or 4 or 5 or however many you come up with. So, is that all?
That's everything on that item.
Okay.
Motion to receive update.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion clearly passes. Item number 3, discussion and possible action regarding TIF 2 and TIF 8 budgets. Anything new, Stacy?
Nothing new.
No action. Item 4 is discussion and possible action regarding the ongoing space utilization plan implementation for Oklahoma County Annex. Anything new?
I've got another item later that would probably is more on point for the 6th floor.
Yeah, probably should have said this was our 1st and 6th floor. No action needed. Number 5 is discussion and possible action regarding the Triple X Stream Bank Stabilization Project.
We're getting kind of close on the river. Might finish that up in about 30 days. Roadways under construction. Mitigations awarded. We received our first reimbursement for District 2 today. $1,060,000 will be deposited in their highway cash this week.
Don't go spending it all in one spot, Dodson.
So the project is moving forward and successful at this point.
What's a completion date look like?
Well, we need
Sounds
to be.
like moving pretty quick.
Yeah, we're still barely going to hit it in the late spring. If everything continues to go right. I've got one utility that's kind of becoming an issue, but we're working through it.
What about the road opening? Will that be done before everything else, or do you envision opening everything all at once?
I think it's probably going to be all at once.
Motion to receive report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion clearly passes. Item 6, discussion and possible action regarding the Canadian River project near the Wilshire Bridge, west of Meridian. FEMA grant opportunity and core study opportunity.
Our consultant is applying for a FEMA grant. and we won't know the results for a while, but they are actively putting that grant together. The core study opportunity is still there. It's a parallel track. I mean, there would be no reason to do both of these, but in case one falls off, we have the other one. The reason the core thing has been slow, other than that's just nature of that agency, they've had a lot of retirements, honestly. I think I'm working with my third guy on this issue because the two in front of him retired in the last 60 days.
Wow. Is there anything that we need to do with the core?
No, we'll keep these two different opportunities on parallel tracks and see which one emerges.
Okay.
Motion to receive update.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to receive the update. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Discussion of possible action regarding the capital improvement list. Is there any changes?
I have no changes, Keith. You?
Seeing no changes, we'll take no action. Item 8 is discussion of possible action regarding condition and repairs needed to the social services building and evaluation of continued occupancy versus possible relocation. This is still one of those things that we will be taking up in policy and governance the next time, so I think we'll leave this on and take no action today unless somebody has something. Seeing nothing. Item 9, discussion of possible action regarding funding of the 6th floor annex remodel, HVAC and restrooms. Demolition of the floor is complete. Plans are 100%. Thank you, OMS. We will now need to spend an extra $1.7 million on top of the $900,000 that's already been allocated. Correct?
Yes, that is the change that hit us right after demolition, kind of a change in policy. I am setting on 100% plans. I have given them to OMES. They are bidding it for me as we speak. I don't know how long it will take them to return me a hard, firm number. The approximate number I got is just not a planning estimate that I pull out of left field. I've actually worked with a contractor. So it's still an estimate, but it is a contractor estimate rather than a planning estimate, so it's a little closer and to a real number. So it kind of tells you the effect of your new policy.
What's that new policy? Just so we're all aware of why we're looking at an additional 1.7.
The thing that really kills us is we cannot buy materials for contractors. They have to purchase their own. So basically you're hiring a general contractor, purchasing their own materials. They get all the markup on that. And that's their interpretation of the statute. So with the new legislature session beginning to start, you might want to run a statutory amendment to see if you can change that. So we go back to what we used to do.
OMES is famous for giving waivers for project. It's typically project specific when they do the waivers. Have we explored that route
This
yet?
is a statute thing, not an OMES thing.
Okay. I think they still have the ability to make, well, I don't know.
So really the question for you guys to think about is, do you want Chantel to put this out to bid on a parallel track with the OMES bid or not? And see what we come up with. And I wouldn't put it out to bid unless you find a funding source. Yeah. That's the other thing.
Can you email the statute to Michaela so she can email it to all of us, please?
Yes.
Anything else? Anybody got any questions?
You want to discuss funding sources, possible funding sources?
Absolutely. You're willing to write a personal check?
You know, I don't know that would serve me.
Okay. I thought you were feeling generous.
This is what we have cash on hand today, according to Munis in the PBA.
That's a little better.
You'll see that ICB has a little over $172,000. That's M&O's salaries, benefits. Kraus at $103,427. Lincoln at $124,116. Metro Parking 1 and 2 at $156,995. Our debt service cash on hand is $394,000, a little over that. PBA reserve as of today is $4,010,206 for a total available today of $4,961,597.83, according to Munis, which you can all access easily, I'm sure, by the account number.
Have you shown this to Danny after our discussions yesterday?
I have not. Sandy McKenzie and Megan have been working with Kelly Henley. These numbers were correct this morning.
Okay.
I know Danny has another figure, and I'm not quite sure as to how that's arrived at, but we work within Munis, and according to Munis, this is what we have. If there's more, good thing, but.
Yeah, I posed the simple question of have we picked up the phone and called the bank and asked what's in the account? Because I'm kind of with you. I don't fully understand what the discrepancy is and why.
I don't either, but we're working to reconcile that. But according to your financial instruments and programs that we use daily, these are the available numbers today.
So how much of that would you consider available in reserve to spend? All of it, part of it?
You know, if you had some catastrophic event, it's all available today. But really, the reserve figure is what is unencumbered and available for use.
That debt service 440, is that for the remainder of the year?
Yes, that's got to be paid.
You do that for, no, I get that. Have you encumbered that 394, 184?
No.
Okay. All right, is there anything else? Any questions? Seeing
Motion to
none, is there
receive
a-
report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 And Cody's got a BET meeting coming up. Do you want some sort of a recommendation to him about looking for funding or no, or? Because you basically got two major projects out in front of you. We've discussed both of them today, and I don't think this one account can handle them both.
The biggest issue is figuring out what's actually in that account. To me, there's still a very sizable amount that we're trying to figure out what the difference is between Keith's numbers and what Danny's numbers are. And if, how do we get there? I mean, I would much rather have Danny's number. Because Danny's number would allow us to do both when we move forward. I don't like the 1.7. We got to do something. But
Miles, that's where I am as well right now. Until we have the solid number and know exactly what our options are, we don't really have options. So I think we need to hone in and find out what this balance actually is. Because to Stacy's point, there's other projects, and we got to weigh all this against each other. So
the original transfers that we put into TIF 2 and TIF 8 that we front funded from PBA, that money's still available. We don't have any of those projects going on, so that money should still be sitting there as well.
Yes,
correct?
I have some money. I was planning on doing the front entrance project itself with that money.
Okay.
But to get there, we may have to spend it on something else.
Right.
no, Stacy, remind me. I know we went to the city and asked for additional TIF recently, correct? And that's
Correct.
working through the process. Was this a project that was included in that?
The sixth floor, no.
The additional money needed on the sixth floor?
No, I don't think it was included.
Right. That was my recollection, but I think there was
I did talk about the security projects. I did include those in the new TIF ask.
And I think there was a conversation about how broad that language was on the allowable projects from that.
Right.
Was it determined whether it was flexible enough
There
to
was a sentence,
allow for this?
sentence in there that gave us some wiggle room.
Okay, so that's an option as well. But the availability of that, to Miles's point, even if we're gonna do that, we've gotta have front money. So,
Anything else? So Stacy, not yet. There's a big clerical thing that needs to be resolved. And then if we need to call a special one of these to throw a recommendation out and get that to the next PBA, I'm more than willing to sit up here and do something like that. But let's get.
Yeah, it's an accounting method. You had the same issue with highway cash not too long ago.
Don't, yeah. Yeah.
motion to receive update.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding directional signage located in foyers and floor landings in the Oklahoma County Annex Courthouse buildings. My suggestion would be to call the DA's office and find out how they have used a 1970 sign so effectively to keep people out of that bathroom.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work so well.
Keith, do you have any update from? Okay. Okay. I propose that we approve this temporary signage
Is this,
for the snack bar, just to be put up until we get some permit signage for that.
is there a motion to receive this document into the record?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now I'll go to the clerk.
Tell me where you want the signage located.
Well, we just accepted it.
Yeah, the foyers and the floor landings.
You're saying outside the elevators?
Yeah, exactly. Where all the other temporary signage goes.
So is there a motion as such?
Well, I've got a question. In the past, I know BOCC, supposedly signage is supposed to be approved by BOCC. Which, to your point, I think the last meeting, there's lots of signs floating around that I don't ever remember seeing going across BOCC. So I think if my recollection of past practice.
That would be my
it would be a
motion is to
recommendation.
recommend it. I'm sorry, not
Gotcha.
to be clear on that. I meant, yeah. My
Okay.
motion is to recommend this to the BOCC for placement in foyers and landings in both buildings.
Does this M&M Cafe, do they have, I know the previous vendor had a website, and so you could actually go online, or you can call them and order ahead. Does this vendor have that?
I think
Do
they
we
do
know?
have a bunch of that stuff. I've been down there several times. It's really good. But they have an email list. They have a call ahead. They have a call and take home as well.
Because I would think that if we were gonna put this signage up, maybe just put, if they do have order ahead or whatever, an email address or a website, that we just add that on there as well. But
Yeah, I accept that amendment to the motion. Yeah.
There's a motion with an amendment. Is there a second?
second.
For a recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Is there any citizen participation? Anybody sign up, Michaela? All right, nobody yet here. Board comments. Anybody?
None.
Happy Bedlam Week. Go Sooners. Everybody, I want to see handlebars on everybody.
Any new business? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We got one more.
Stand adjourned.
One more meeting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:27, and we'll call the Public Improvements and Infrastructure Committee to order. Roll call. All three districts are represented. Notice of the meeting was properly posted on November 18th, 2021. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion clearly passes. Item number 2, discussion and possible action regarding an update from staff on capital projects specific to TIF District 2.
No.
What am I in? What is this?
Your own
How
world.
does this?
You need to switch meetings.
Yeah, I did. I got 2 meetings open at one time. Huh, okay. All right, how about discussion and possible action regarding the Investors Capital Building exterior building envelope project?
We're expecting documents this week from our expert.
Motion receive update.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion clearly passes. Item number 3, discussion possible action regarding security and ICB.
Don't have any more information.
Anybody have anything? Okay.
No.
No action. Item number 4, discussion and possible action regarding capital projects for Lincoln Building Parking Lot, 300,000 and the marquee for 75,000.
The only thing to change here would be the figure. I'm sure the number for the marquee has gone up, so I would make that between $75,000 and $100,000, depending on the type of fancy marquee you'd like to have.
When you say parking lot, what does that consist of? Are you doing the whole grassy knoll area out in front of Lincoln?
We would be resurfacing the portions just short of that. That's basically 300,000 square feet. I'm told by our esteemed engineer that it's $1 a foot to resurface asphalt 2 inches thick.
So the portion that we're currently mowing, we would continue to mow.
Is there any action?
Well, I'll just say, and this is probably going to be my response on most of these agenda items, is that going back to what we talked about a minute ago in the other meeting, how much money we actually have, we need to have these numbers so that we know what's available. Once we know what's available, then we can look at all of the projects on our wish list and start prioritizing from there. But until we know how much we have to spend, it's going to be really difficult to make decisions on, okay, let's move forward on this project. And it's really even hard to rank because a ranking can, if you can only get one project because of the amount of money, maybe that one project is ahead of 2 others. But if you can knock out 2 or knock out the one, the 2 weighted together might push up in front of the one that's ahead of both of them. So I think having all of that accurate information is
That's
really
true.
needed.
And then the length of time it takes to determine what kind of a project you want to do, which one you want to prioritize, moving forward to a beginning point. There's nothing static in terms of pricing today, so those numbers could very well change. If it takes you 2-3 months to make a decision, that could change. So
So
just
whose
something else to consider.
responsibility is it to do the reconciliation to get us a real number?
I'm sorry?
Who's responsible for producing the real number?
The Keith and Danny are working towards.
And really, the only thing I have available to me is what is shown in Munis. Danny has other things that he's looking at, I know, but that's the only resource that is available to me.
I'm hoping before our next meeting of this group that can be ironed out, and maybe Keith maybe start a list of projects and the estimated amounts in there, kind of like we have in the other meeting on our capital projects list. Just you don't have to put them in any particular order. Just throw them on there, estimate of costs, and then we can start
Sure.
whittling away from there.
Anything else? Is there any action?
I guess just receive update.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion clearly passes. Item number 5. Discussion possible action regarding Metro 1 and 2 capital projects, cameras and elevator badge access.
I think this is akin to your number 4 item and should be treated in the same way.
Yeah, let me just add though, on the list that I said about getting the list of projects potential, also let's have some type of delineation whether those were requested in the TIF ask, the most recent TIF ask, or if they could be slid into our current TIFs that are out there. And if not either one of those two, whether they would be able to slide in under the kind of broad language.
Are we specific with TIF dollars when a presentation is made to Oklahoma City in terms of what we intend to do with these dollars? Is that specific, or is that funding just given to us to use as we prioritize, as things change?
Both. There's some language that gives us some wiggle room in the contract we actually signed.
That's what I was getting at, Keith. We need to kind of have an interpretation of how much wiggle room we have and whether some of these projects, if they weren't previously presented as a project, if they could be slid in under the broader language.
Is there a motion to receive report?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion clearly passes. Item number 6. Discussion possible action regarding capital projects for the ICB security $100,000 and a new roof of $250,000.
Again, this should be addressed in the same manner, with the exception that the $100,000 figure, as I recall, was a $235,000 figure provided to us from David Baisden. That is the equipment and then the deputies required to man the stations. So instead of $100,000, that's a $235,000 or so.
That was capital investment and a ongoing security cost. So,
Yeah, I think those are two separate considerations. I think we need to know what the capital expenditure is up front and then what the ongoing cost is. So I do think those need to be broken out.
They are in his presentation, and I think
Right.
I provided that last time.
yeah. Mr. Basin, yeah, he did. Holy cow. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Discussion possible action regarding capital projects for the Kraus Building second floor build out at $15 per square foot, $350,000, an elevator for $150,000.
Those are laughable figures. If you look at anything you're going to do over there, you're probably $100 a square foot at this point inside the building, and I don't have a good number yet for the elevator.
I would even say your $100 per square foot is laughable.
Could be. It depends on what you want to do.
It's insane what build outs are right now.
What's your thought on building that out? Do you have something in mind as far as utilizing that space?
No. If you had a particular tenant with specific needs, then you would structure any build out around that requirement. That's generally how that works.
Have you visited with the tenants that are currently on that campus to assess their needs, whether they have additional needs or whether they have concerns on, I'm assuming if we were
They have
looking at
concerns.
putting another tenant in there that we would
I haven't had conversations with
have a
them
discussion
lately.
with them.
We'd had discussions about building 2 or 3 offices out upstairs, just replacing carpeting, ceiling tiles, and so on, for additional use. But that was dependent, I think, on their workload expanding, and I haven't heard whether or not that's been the case yet.
Well, and I know at one point we were talking about build out of, for lack of a better term, flex space. If there was an issue in this building had to shut down, that would be another location that some offices could relocate to.
Sure.
But I didn't know if you were looking at general ideas or anything specific.
No. Just waiting for someone to express a need and direction, and I think at that point you could establish raw costs and then put that in the mix of your tiered projects. There's so many projects competing for dollars. It's more of the same.
Is $150,000 a realistic number on the elevator?
No, I'm waiting on another figure there. I'm sure that has escalated as well.
Huh, huh. Sorry.
I'm not
I
gonna
thought
say
that
anything.
pun was intended. Okay, is there a motion to receive the report?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to receive the report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion clearly passes. Any citizen participation from our millions of fans from local and around the world? Seeing none. Any board comments?
None.
None.
No, thank you. Any new business? Seeing none. Without objection, we will adjourn. Is there any objections?
So moved. No objection.
No objection.
Then we stand